Alright, I'm here to tell you about some joysticks. Point of this video is make some recommendations for getting started in flight sims or space sims or what have you. I'm not really going to get into the nuts and bolts of these sticks. There's plenty of much better reviews of those already out there. This is just for those looking to either get into Star Citizen or Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is coming out soon. Now, I've included the manufacturer's recommended price for these things because a lot of this stuff is sold out, and those who still have stock are, especially in the case of Thrustmaster products, are price gouging. So I don't want you to spend more than you should on any of these particular sticks. Now let's get started. The first, most basic thing you can get is Logitech 3D Extreme Pro joystick. I recommend this only if you want to get started in flight simming, but you're not sure if that's going to be something you're going to stick with. You don't really want to spend a lot of money on joystick and throttle. It'll get the job done. It's got enough buttons. It's got a little throttle axis, twist rudder. Probably good enough for Microsoft Flight Simulator for the bulk of players. Next one is the Thrustmaster T-Flight Hot House. This one is a bit more full-featured. You get an actual throttle that you can put your hands on. It's still a twist axis rudder, which is going to be standard for most of the sticks going forward. Not many more buttons than the Logitech 3D stick. Costs about twice as much, but keep in mind you're getting twice as much. And I have a friend who has used these for just about 2 decades, so they hold up pretty well. And next is the next tier from Thrustmaster, the T16000M. In this case, I'm listing the flight pack. You can buy them individually. I looked, the joystick by itself is going to be about 80 bucks. The flight pack, of course, you get the joystick, the throttle, and the rudder pedals. And if you're looking to go all in, I would highly recommend it. The only complaint I had when I used these as my main stick and everything is they use rails instead of axes for the throttle and the rudders. And I've read and I've been told that the way to solve the stickiness of the rails is to lubricate them. And of course there's guides for doing that, and I would highly recommend reading those before you attempt it. But I would really recommend this as a good starting point for an everything set. And now we're back to Logitech with the X52. I'm familiar with not this one specifically, but the one that came before it, back when it was Saytech. This uses twist rudder, has a decent amount of buttons. It's a full hands-on set. Don't have any personal experience with it. As you can see, it'll run you about the same cost as the full set of the Thrustmaster. And then after that is the X56, its bigger brother. You get twin throttles, which is good for flight simulators. In fact, I would say you only want to start going this high if you're going into combat flight simulation. You know, things like Star Citizen, DCS World. This is going to be overkill for Microsoft Flight Simulator or any sort of arcade game. This is what you want to start looking at when you realize you need more buttons. This has more buttons. The stick itself, commenting from DCS World, has enough buttons to map most sticks in the game. My main complaint about this stick was that the top button on the joystick is uncomfortable to use. I had to kind of contort my hand in order to use it. Throttle, on the other hand, was very comfortable to use. And now we're getting into the much pricier area here. Have the Thrustmaster Warthog. Stick only, gonna run you $250. I'm not sure what the MSRP for the set is, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that if you're looking at it for over $600, don't. You're going to get ripped off. And there's, I mean, if you're gonna spend more than $600 for a stick and throttle, there are the boutique options, and you'll get more out of those if you're going to start spending over $600. But if you can find just the stick for $250, or I would say the whole thing for $500 to $600, go for it. Again, this is more for combat flight simulation, and like I said, I only have the stick, and that stick is very comfortable, very ergonomic. Which is not surprising. It's based on an actual Air Force stick design used in the F-16 and the A-10 Warthog. Now this, while it's not a joystick, I'm mentioning it because, as you know, the Thrustmaster 1600 comes with rudder pedals. And of course you can buy every element of that set individually, including the rudder pedals. This is Logitech's rudder pedal option, which I currently use. I prefer it more because it has an axis design instead of rails. It has its shortcomings, but it gets the job done, especially considering I only really use the rudder for taxiing and takeoff. They'll run you about 160. And finally, I want to give mention to all the boutique manufacturers. This is not an all-inclusive list. I know there's a lot of very niche boutique manufacturers if you really, really want to have that specific stick. So these are more common, general. Purple Controls and BKB Sim are generalist manufacturers. They make good products. I'm currently using Virpil, but I've read a lot of good reviews about BKB stuff. WinWing is also a good one. They're most known right now for their exact replica of the F-18 controls. There's reviews of all of that out. And MFG is known for their rudder pedals. I see a lot of people recommend their crosswinds. So, I hope this has been helpful. Hope it helps you pick a stick to get started with. Don't be afraid to start cheap. But once you get started, definitely consider spending more money. It is worth it. Until next time, y'all have a good one. And come check me out live on Twitch.